What's going on, guys? Ryan with Jet Patrol back. Another video. Today we're going to be building the USS Enterprise. That's right, guys, we're back. Hope you guys are excited for this one. As you know, I am a huge Star Wars fan. I collect a lot of Star Wars stuff. However, I grew up, like many of you, watching Star Trek. Watching Star Trek The Next Generation. In fact, that was probably what I watched the most of, honestly, The Next Generation. And if I had to say Picard over Kirk, just saying it, comment down below. I'm just saying Picard over Kirk, that's all I'm saying. As you know, a while back, we built part of the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos in Infinity War, if you remember that. Now we've got something else. FanHome has sent over something else for us to build. Let's get to it. Let's check out what's in the box. If you guys aren't familiar with FanHome, they have tons of cool projects you can build on a subscription basis, this being one of them. Obviously it's going to be Star Trek related, and let's go ahead and see what we got. So we'll open this guy up. I guess we'll turn it sideways, you guys can see everything. Star Trek The Next Generation, build the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701/D. So in here is going to be tons of obviously instructions, but there's way more than that. We'll get to that in just a second, but we got that. We've got part 1 and part 2 of the build. So here's part 1. We'll get in that, and we're going to build part of the bridge assembly is kind of what we got going on today. And included, there's actually some, I got to be honest with you guys, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. Let's go ahead and get this box out of the way. And we've got part 1 and part 2. I'm pretty sure that's part 1. And this is part 2. So before we get into what all is included, because there's LEDs, there's wiring, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. Let's take a look at the instructions first. This is the build the USS Enterprise NCC 1701-D, obviously from the Next Generation. Now, not only are there tons and tons of instructions, detailed instructions. Here's all your parts. Here's the wiring harnesses. Everything's labeled. It's beautiful. You don't have to worry about like really messing this up. Anybody at beginner level should be able to do this fairly simply. I mean, the instructions are, as you can see, very good. But there's more to it than this. This is way cooler than just the instructions on how to build this thing. Obviously, we got light up functions, LEDs, but I'm going to go through here. This talks about the original design concept of this particular ship. I think it's cool. We've got original sketches. It's got even commentary on each, like the design. It's freaking, that's a lot of cool stuff in here that even as a fan of the show, I didn't know a lot of this, but there's talk on here, like this right here. It says 1986, Probert experimented with sweeping the ship's neck and warp nacelle pylons backward for like a swan-like shape. And it gives like these little, just design cues of what he different did. And it kind of goes through like the build process of how it ended up being what it ended up being. And I thought this is pretty cool. I have slanted all the struts forward to unify their direction and give the overall design a feeling of aggressive forward movement like a lunging cat. That's cool. That's cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. So, I mean, I guess you could pause this if you want. You can screen share or screen grab it and read all this stuff. Or better yet, just if you're a fan of this thing, just get the set and, build it yourself. But there's a lot of stuff going on here. And this is just part 1 and part 2 of the entire build. And obviously there are a lot of parts. So you're going to get a lot of background information and just cool inside stuff, which I think is pretty nice to have. Like I said, we're going to be building part 1 and part 2 today. There are multiples in each section, each module, I guess, if you will, comes packaged just like this. You've got all the tools necessary. You've got all the, obviously all the parts. Anything that has stickers on it, to me, it looks like that's already done. Obviously, now if you want to take this thing to the next level and get into airbrushing and painting and all that stuff when you're all done, absolutely go for that. I think that's pretty cool. But it's all laid out there, and obviously the instructions are pretty easy to do. So let's go ahead and get into this and build us a starship. Stage 1 part. So we got stage 1 right here, stage 2 right here. We'll put stage 2 to the side for just a second and get into stage 1. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. So this is good. Again, we're talking about the bridge. That's what we're talking about. It's got the wiring harness for LEDs. Dig that very much. Should be pretty simple. And whatever tools you need to have is actually included in here. So you can see there's already a screwdriver in here. So that's one less thing we got to worry about. This may shock you guys. This is die cast. This is not plastic. It's not PVC. It's straight up die cast. Just see. When this thing is complete, it's going to be insane. It's going to be a centerpiece of collection. It's going to be something when somebody walks into your collection room, they're going to be like, wow, that thing is flipping amazing. Like this is, that's freaking cool. We got that piece. Obviously, let's see, we got screwdrivers, we got wiring harnesses with individual LEDs already wired up. I mean, guys, I've done some wiring of different models and projects, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is as simple as it gets. It's pre-done for you. You can't really mess it up. I guess if you don't follow the instructions, you can mess it up, but the instructions are really good, so why would you do that? All right, so going back to the instructions, this was the first thing I noticed, and I remember this from the other build, but this actually makes it really easy. So you'll notice on here, you've got a yellow part and you've got a gray part. The yellow part is the new part that you're adding. So if you're looking for a piece in the set that's actually the color yellow, you're not gonna find it. That's actually the new part. So red part highlights where the new part fits and screws, and the yellow part identifies the new part. So there's that. So here's our first section of build we're gonna bend. We're gonna take this guy right here. This is the new one. This is the yellow piece we're gonna see. We'll get you guys out of here. And this is, look, this here, let's just zoom in. This is what we're talking about. This is a plastic part, just saying that. We got this guy, and we're gonna add this guy, and it can fit right in here. Boom, snap in, beautiful, pretty easy to do. Once you've got it snapped in place, you're gonna take two little screws, A, P, and we're gonna screw those in the back, that way it stays in place. The first LED we're gonna add is, it's got a little sticker that says C. It's gonna bend into this little section here and go right there in this little tab, and it's gonna fit right there. You really can't mess that up. It just sits right there. And then there's a piece that's gonna go on top of this to secure it. Should be easy enough to do that. It's gonna snap in just like that. Now, it's not a tight fit right there, so there's a piece that's gonna go over top of this, but it does fit fairly well. So that's pretty nice. We've got the other side of this LED. It's gonna go on this opposite side. So we'll go ahead and make that happen. So this wire is gonna fit through this groove right here. So next up, we're gonna take this top section here. It's gonna go through this little section here. I'm sure there's a technical term for all these little pieces. I don't know what that is, but I'm just following directions. And luckily there's pictures, so I can't really mess it up. That wire is going to go through the middle. And then here we go. As you can see, there's going to be two screws to attach these two together. All right, let's carry on. Let's see what we got here. We're going to take this part right here. Look at this. Freaking beautiful, man. That is such a nicely, I mean, like I said, die cast. I mean, just look at the detail they got going on here. I don't think they've missed a beat. And you can see the shading going on. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. We're gonna take the next section here, which is gonna be, obviously this, locate deck 2, O1A. That's this guy right here. We've got that in the emergency flush vent, O1H. All right, so O1H, I have no idea which one that is. Well, we're gonna find it. O1H is one of these. So we're gonna take O1H, which is the translucent section like this. There's actually two, there's a left and a right, and this is the one we want. So we're gonna put that to the side for a second. And then we got a LED, which is B. You guys see these little things? They got little stickers on it. There's a B. This is the LEDs going in here, so easy enough. That piece there, LED goes around here, and then this part right here just goes on top of it and holds it down. All right, next up, we've got to add this section in here. So we've got wiring going on here, which is actually going to be the left. You can see the right side here is blacked out, so there's not going to be any LEDs going there, just on this side. Now we got to get this section here taken care of. So there's actually two pieces in here. We got this clear piece goes on here, and then we've got this piece, which is they're calling it the deck front window deflector. And then we've got letter A. We've got two more LEDs that are going to go on either side of this guy. So we got those 4 screws in, and now we got to add another piece. We're going to flip this guy over and make this happen. Oh, we're getting there now. So these just pop in. We've got little pegs. Can't really mess this up. Keys in very easily. I mean, just look at the level of detail on that one piece. I mean, absolutely beautiful. 4 screws on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. holds that piece right into place. All right, now it's time to connect these parts. We've got this one, we've got LEDs on, we've got this one, which we built earlier, and now we're gonna connect these two just like this. So that wire should go straight through, and then we'll snap into place just like this, and then we got some screws to attach it permanently. And there we go. That's, oh man. These kind of projects are a lot of fun for me. Honestly, I like building things, whether it's outside, inside, whatever it is, but if I know that the end result is gonna be like a centerpiece for my collection, like the time spent is all the more worth it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to stage 2 of this build. There are many stages. We're building stage 1, stage 2, as you can see. Another die-cast part. This is pretty stinking cool. Love this. And one of the things I definitely want to point out on the paint application that applies to the stage 1 and stage 2, and I can imagine to all the other stages, is the spectral highlight paint job they've got going on here. And yes, I do mean spectral highlight. That is a thing. If you go and you watch videos on the studio model of this guy, they actually took it and they added different colors and spectral highlights of paint application on it so it wouldn't look like a giant gray blob. They did that on all the Enterprise ships and actually all of Star Trek, all the ships they did that. And this is pretty cool. So it doesn't look like one solid gray blob because it is not. Let me see if I can show you exactly what I mean. If we zoom in here a little bit, you can see different shades going on here. And yes, it looks from a distance, it might look like, you know, a giant gray blob, but it's not. They've actually nailed it. You can see the variations and squares and patterns and rectangles they've got going on in the paint. Even all the way down here, they've got a little touch of teal and little shades of off gray. And you can see how the light's bouncing off this thing. They absolutely nailed it. That is screen accurate. And I mean, if you were to take the time to go add an airbrush, you can see it really good right on there. If you were to take the time to go and try and airbrush this on, you would be here for a very, very long time, probably until the time where this ship actually exists in reality. But you don't have to do that. They did it for you, and that saves us a lot of time. Let's go ahead and get into adding this. So we're gonna add a couple pieces of this. We've got to add this little orange rigid section going on here. You can see this guy right here. It's gonna slide right into this front part, like so. Pretty easy. We got another clear part that's going to go on here as well. It's going to snap right in here. And then we've got a, where'd it go? I got a blue, yeah, you. I got this little blue guy that's going to pop right in here and just pop through the other side. So we just get him in here. Try to do that so it goes correctly. It only goes in one way. You really can't mess that up. It is keyed. So there's that. Oh, popped out. These will be secured here in just a second. Right now, they're just kind of sitting in place. There's that. Next thing we got to do is actually add this little skeletal section. So a lot of translucent plastic going on here, but there's a lot of screw holes. So this is going to be, again, the structural skeletal part. We're adding a lot of sections into this. So we're going to slide this guy pretty much right here. And as you can see, we're going to line up a lot of screw holes here in a short period of time. Not too bad. Got a bunch of screws, two here, two here, two here, two here, one there. Pretty easy to do, honestly. Not too bad. Well, we've got a next section to add. We've got a cover, which again is a die-cast piece. You can see right there. Pretty nice. This is going to go right here. And then we're going to just screw that on with the different size screws. Now for some cool bits here. Check these guys out. These translucent blue sections we got. Just add it. We got two of them that's going to run the length. Pretty stinking cool. Yeah, let's add these on. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that's got to go on this section, and another 4 that's got to go on the other side. Wow. I mean, look at this thing. That is beautiful. So we got the amber color here, we've got the blue that goes all the way down the side, and then that one piece that wraps around the back, so it goes all the way side. It's one continuous blue section, and obviously we've got the blue light going right here that we added earlier. I mean, that's... Now, for those who know what the hell this is obviously going to be one part of the warp engine. So we've got this section right here. Again, die-cast we've built, looks beautiful. We've got the amber color here, we've got blue going out that wraps all the way around. Looks beautiful, nice little blue light going on there. And then we have this section right here, which you will need stage 3. It's gonna go right in here, and it's gonna look beautiful. Look at that. You're gonna need stage 3 to go ahead and get that done. Guys, this has been a lot of fun, honestly. I've got extra screws that have been nice in case you drop one. They're really small, but if you have a work area like mine, which is plain white, kind of hard to lose things, except for when they fall on the floor. But you got extras, so this one, it's not a problem. Again, beautiful application here. FanHome, you guys knocked that out of the park. Again, the Infinity Gauntlet you guys sent over was beautiful, die-cast heavy. Instructions are fantastic. Obviously, this is going to be nonetheless. But for those who are not into Marvel, you're into Star Trek, you're Trekkies, it's all good. We've got that going on here. Now, I will tell you, one of the coolest the bits about here, other than the beautiful paint application, which I talked about earlier, is the fact that the LED wiring is done. We've got die-cast parts. We've got LEDs everywhere, and when this thing is put together, it's going to light up, and it's going to absolutely be a centerpiece of your collection. So you can choose to join now if you like. There's a link in the description below for FanHome. Pick one of their projects, pick this project, pick whichever project, floats your boat for your collection. But I am super stoked for this. So thanks FanHome for sponsoring this video. You guys are great, and keep doing awesome things, because honestly, this is just cool. For nerddom, this is where it's at. As always, guys, collect what you like. See you next time.